Okay. We're going to go over basically scripting, how scripting works with AIs, the different types of spawners to make it target something, to make one out of like 3 of an object list spawn instead of having all 3 of them spawn, so it's randomly generated. How to trigger spawners pretty much. So the first thing is that we need to go over the different types of spawners. Phantom is the only one that can spawn in a vehicle. So I'm going to do like a ghost, a wraith, or chopper. This one, just the normal AI spawner, is really good for spawning multiple objects. And then the drop pod is the only one that can spawn 1 unit, but it gives a cool animation. So that's really the only differences. The drop pod is limited on what you can spawn from it, whereas the normal AI spawner allows you to spawn whatever you want. You are also limited on the Phantom, but not as much as the normal drop pod, because there's only so many animations that they added for the AI to be able to drop through, such as one of the examples being the brute chieftain with a gunner. You can't have a chieftain with a turret. You can't have him drop from a spawner or from a Phantom. He can only spawn from the AI spawner. So we're also going to talk about forever spawners. Basically, there's not a way without scripting to have AI constantly spawn after its squad is wiped. So if we kill these guys, they spawn again. And they will continue to just keep spawning, which is nice because sometimes you want a forever spawner to constantly go. How you do that is pretty simple. So here, right here, we have on squad remaining to 0. We're going to get that squad unit count, the remaining unit count, and if it is equal to or less than 1, right, or less than 1 is the condition, then we're simply just going to trigger the spawner again. And that is how you make a forever spawner. No matter how many of these guys you kill, every time you wipe out the entire squad, they will spawn back, and they'll continue to do so. The next thing, since we've gone over that, that's great. I'll delete this. The next thing is going to be an area effect. So as I showed you guys, basically when you walk into this area, it's going to spawn a group, and then that group's going to do the normal thing. So if I continue to walk into this area, you might want to put a checker to where whenever someone walks in this area, it deletes this object. I just used a normal pointer because it's the simplest one. But what it's looking for is the boundary of the object. So if we make it a box, it's going to look for that box. The thing that sucks about this is that if you have a mission type map and 5 people walk into this, it's going to spawn 5 squads. If you want that, great. If you don't want that, you have to set it to where it deletes this object afterwards. So what we're going to do is on the pointer, which is this little guy, when we're going to area or monitor that area, and when an object, any object, enters that area, then the AI will spawn. You can get more complex with this, but this is just very simple, very to the point. I would have a objects, you're going to want to delete it right after, and this will prevent it from continuously spawning. So if we go over here, we simply walk through it, it'll delete as well when we walk through it. So now it's gone. And it only spawned the squad once. So that's great, super easy, super small. There it is for you guys to look at. We're going to go ahead and delete this and move on to the next one, which is triggering based on a console. So with this console here, if I activate this, every time I activate this, it's going to spawn grunts. And so basically, it's super easy. You just get the console or the object. So this is the console. And then on this object interacted, spawn squad. Or spawn dropship. So we've gone over that. So now we'll move on to the next one, which is on zone captured. So this is generic zone. We're going to go over more of this. I'm going to upload another video tomorrow going a little bit more over this. Basically, this is a generic zone. When you capture a generic zone, it's going to trigger the AI spawner that you want. So if you want to be like a mission or a firefight zone, when you capture the zone, there you go. It's going to spawn in. Where you put these is very important. So we have like, we're going to turn off the trigger by script, and I'm just going to show you guys kind of like directions. So the reason these are nice is because they add cool animation. It gives your team or your firefight map whatever time to prep. The only downside is that, yep, just like that. Sometimes they bug out, and they are not always consistent with where they're going. So it'll fly over there. So they kind of fly to the spot and then drop off, you know, whatever vehicle first, and then they'll stationize and drop the AI units. Whatever direction it is facing is the direction it's coming in from. So it's going to come in from that way, land, and then fly off. We get rid of those. The next thing we're going to go over is squad spawn with label. So let's say if we want a boss, right? So now that we know how to trigger nodes, let's say if we want this boss or this specific unit to have a health bar, right? Unlike everyone else. So as you can see, these guys don't have health bars. This one we want to, and it's going to tell you how much damage he's taken over time. This is a pretty easy thing. Basically, when we hold this, right, and grab it, we want to go into its object properties. Sorry, we want to look at the squad label. You want this squad label if it's a specific boss or a very different than like your other AI. You want this squad label to be Zulu or Yankee or X-Ray or something down at the bottom that you're never going to use. And the reason for that is because on squad label, right, and then you want to get AI units from what squad? From Zulu. All these objects or all these AI units are going to then set health bar to visible. That's going to be true. And that's how you do that. It's pretty easy. This works with the other two nodes that are very close to this one, the camo node and the teleport node to teleport specific bots. But you can use this to kind of, whenever this one is activated, this happens. So that's pretty important. We're going to delete that. We're going to move on. Do I have anything else on this? No. So the next thing we're going to go over is, as you've noticed, my bots like to target this little generator that I have. So we're going to move this over here and show you guys kind of what I mean by that. So they will target it. All right, and we can have it set to take damage and stuff like that, but right now we just want to work on the targeting part. So how that works is you grab your node, and it's as simple as adding it to modified target. So on gameplay start, we instantly want all the AI to be targeting this object, right? This object reference right here. So the team that you put it on, so the team here that goes here, this is what team you want the object to be on. This is the one team that will not target the object. So if we put it to Cobra, which is my current team, and even if we add it as an object that they can take, you'll notice that they won't target it. So no matter what. But if we switch it to, let's say, if we go here, we switch it to Hades, which no one is on Hades, then they will target it. Pretty cool. We're going to go and delete this because we don't need it. Just kind of going through the mix. The next thing we're going to do is marking. So let's say we want to get 1 out of 3, right, random spawns. We only want to activate 1. So I have it set to where on player mark, 1 will activate. So it's going to get 1 out of the 3 of these random ones and activate it. Pretty cool. So you can do this. I just did this with drop pods because I really like drop pods, but you can do this with like pretty much anything, any spawner. If we go into it, it's on player mark for each object, trigger the AI spawner. And then get random objects. We only want to get one from one of these lists. And the reason I made it like this is that you guys could see you could have as many spawners as you want to be random, but I only picked 3. So in reality, the way that this is going to look is pretty much like so. And then I just combined the list, but we're going to get the list now from here and plug it into there. So this is the simplest way, right, to get one spawner from any of these and to trigger that spawner. So there you go. There you have it. And then let's say if we want to, have it to where when a unit spawns, they follow a certain pattern. So when a unit spawns, like those guys over there, you'll notice that they will walk around in circles. You can have them set to follow objects as well, and we'll go over that a little bit. But you can have them go here, and then they'll move to the next one, and so on. And so you can kind of create like a little pattern that they follow, which is really nice. And you can have them even wait longer at certain points before they move to the next one. So these are called AI move zones. You can make it as small or as big as you want. If we go into the properties of this AI move zone, you have the wait time and the drivable. So if there are any vehicles in that premises, then they will actually pick it up on their way to the next move zone, and they'll drive it to the next move zone if they want to. I think it's about a 50-50% chance, rather if they pick up the vehicle that's in the zone or not. It might be a little lower for certain ones. I do know that they have to be able to drive the vehicle. So we also have wait time, which is just how long they wait. Let's let me move on to the next one. And then we have the AI move zone, which is like where they go next. So you want to select your next zone for them to go to. We've talked almost about everything except for following a object. So we're going to do this. We're going to say on this object interacted. We're just going to make this up as we go because I actually figured out about this and didn't want to totally forgot to put it in here. On object interacted, right? This object, we're going to trigger this spawner. So we're going to go to AI, we're going to trigger spawner, and this will be the spawner that's triggered. And then once it's triggered, right, we're going to set the AI on squad, it'll be in advanced or events, on squad spawn with label. I think all of them are alpha. We can have them follow a target. Nope, it's in advanced, get squad. Huh. Did I miss it? Squad follow object. So it's in AI modifiers. For whatever reason, I thought it was going to be somewhere else. Not stop. So set squad follow an object, right? So we're going to get this squad to follow the target. And we can't just plug this in here because you can only have 2 blue nodes or 1 blue node per script web. This is like one web, and then this will be another one. So what we need to do is on that squad spawn, you want to have the radius over 20, because if it's set to anything else lower than that, sometimes it can be a little buggy, and they end up not following the target at all. They will just end up standing there, and that kind of ruins the whole thing that we're trying to do. So we're going to go to advanced, and we're going to simply set a variable. We're going to we're going to declare a single variable object variable. And then we're going to get that object variable. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to simply make the identifier for this. We're going to make it the player. So just PL, keep it nice and easy. When we declare it, we don't have to set anything for the initial object because it's not going to be set yet when the game starts. We want it to be set when one of our triggers is triggered, right? So here we are. And then on squad spawned, we're going to local, and I swear I'll explain this. So basically, this is how it works. On an object interacted, right, the node, so this is our trigger, just like before, we had a couple of different spawn triggers. When this squad, or this is triggered, this is going to set this off, and then we're going to set this declared variable to the value of this player and the object of this player. And then here, when this squad is spawned from this right here, when they spawn, they will be following the target with this object variable. So let's say walk over here. Boop. Are these guys not alpha? They're not, they're echo, that's why. So make sure that the squad label matches what you have in your script, or else it's not gonna work. Because like I said before, that's how the game recognizes it. So when we do that, they spawn and then they follow me. So if I move over here, they'll follow me as needed, which is pretty neat. If you want to do multiple too, I don't think there's a cap on this. You can just kind of spam it. It's pretty neat. Not bad. You're welcome. But yeah, too many. If you have too many, spawn in and then follow an object. Sometimes the ones that are following it before the new one's set will stop moving. I don't know how to fix this. I don't think there is a fix. I think it's just a bug. So make sure that if you have a squad that you're activating, like something like this, and you want them to follow a set player, this goes away, or they're not able to activate this again. The thing is, too, that's really cool with this is that if I have two other players with me and we both activate this, or all three of us activate this, each of us will get our own individual squad with this simple script. So I hope this helps. There's not really much else to go over, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But I hope you guys have a good night and a good day, and peace.